Hey guys, welcome back to One Car Garage. This week we're going to change gears just a little bit and do something just a tad different than what we've been doing. You know, on the last episode we did the complete front end rebuild. I'm tired of turning wrenches, man, so we're going to jump to some body work for no particular reason than it just all has to be done, and I want something to keep it interesting and change up a little bit. So we're going to work on the hood flex or hood bounce, and you know what that is. It's where you're going down the road and no hood's just bouncing. I'll explain it to you a little bit more as the video goes along. I appreciate you watching. By the way, I normally don't ever give my cars names, and as you can see in the title, the revival of the 62 Falcon, Mr. Breeze. Well, we've earmarked this car Mr. Breeze, named after the Leonard Skinner song by the title Mr. Breeze. Quite frankly, this car just wants to go, and what better fitting name for it than Mr. Breeze, because if you know the song, it just keeps blowing down the road. Hey, y'all stick around. Let's take a look at some things. Hey guys, welcome back to One Car Garage. We're burning rubber and smoking meat, and this week we've got the hood off the 62 Falcon. Let's jump right in. I'll show you what we got going on. So guys, you've probably seen old cars that have what's called hood flex or hood bounce, and that's my terminology. That may be completely incorrect, and if it is, I'm sure somebody can correct me, but it's just simply where the skin of the hood has let go from the under supports and it just kind of bounces or rattles, like every time you go over a bump or going down the highway, or every time you crank the engine up. And it's just real annoying, but it also causes a problem because the hood, the skin is sitting there flexing, and you risk breaking your paint or, you know, flexing your paint, and paint don't need to bend like that. So I wanted to combat that, and I think I've come up with an easy way of doing it. All right guys, I'm gonna get you in here and I'm gonna tell you, I lost a whole lot of footage. I had footage of this thing start to finish, and I lost it. So all I can do at this point is kind of tell you what I've done, and it's pretty straightforward, and there's other instructional videos out there for the main process, but it really worked, and it's kind of unorthodox. But guys, I used this DAP spray foam. You can see there max feel. It says it feels 3 times expanding large gap foam. This is some good stuff, and it really worked out. So basically what I did was I took, and in between the support structure, I sprayed spray foam. And I've got a picture of it when we sprayed it in, and I'll share that. So that's what it looked like when we sprayed the foam in. You saw that we went and we filled every cavity in this hood. It's rock solid now. After that, I came in and laid in a coat of fiberglass mesh with fiberglass resin on the top of that, okay? Once that dried, I came in and laid a layer of fiberglass cloth over the top and used 2-part epoxy resin and just really soaked it in, filled it in. I let that dry, I came in, sanded it, and I've hit it with a little coat here and there of kitty hair or Dynaglass or whatever you want to call it. Fiberglass reinforced body filler, okay? Now, I'm not going over the top with this. It's the underside of the hood, and I'm not looking to get a body shop finish on this. Let me flip this hood over and show you what we're going to do on the outside. Well, while I'm flipping it, I thought I'd go ahead and show you. You can kind of see, I mean, what I'm telling you is I came in here and filled all this void in between this support and the skin of the hood. Guys, it's solid. It worked. If you want to see, you know, the process of using spray foam and then fiberglass and all over the top of it, check out Sprayway Customs, man. I'll put a link in the description on how to get to his page. Sprayway has got a wealth of knowledge on body work, but in particular, you can look at rust repair without using a weld. And like I say, I'll put a link to his page. So that's what we did. I'm going to pick up, because I do have footage of where we were sanding it and getting it ready to this point, and I'll show you some of that. gonna try to pop these little Ford letters out without breaking them, because I would like to reuse these. And we're gonna start, we're gonna go ahead and work this side of the hood. Noteworthy, the D was already broke. I didn't break it. So I think I'm gonna break out the big guns on the grinder, and we're gonna get that paint off of there. I'm gonna call the underside good. I mean, it's the underside of a hood, so we could sit here and nitpick this thing for days, but there's just not a need. But there is a need to work the top side, so we're gonna get after that. Well, in typical me fashion, I didn't have my camera rolling when I shot the first coat on here, but this is one coat of matte black, and I'm using the Magic farm and implement paint. Again, it's the underside of a hood, and it'll be fine. Reduced it down with acetone and used a couple capfuls of hardener in there, spraying it with my Spray It LVLP gun, using a 1.3 tip. We hit one coat, we're going to let it flash off. We're going to hit it with another 2 or 3 coats or whatever, you know. We'll just get a good coating on it, and that's actually the look I was looking for, just kind of a matte black finish on the underside of the hood, all smoothed and tight and everything good. I want to get this underside done though, so I can finish working the top. Well, there you go, guys. 3 coats of a tractor and implement paint, Magic tractor and implement paint. I really went back on this 3rd coat and added a bunch of reducer to it just so it would flash off pretty quick. Added just a touch more hardener to it. Might not make really a whole lot of difference, but it really didn't probably even need the 3rd coat, so I just want to go ahead and hit it one more time just because I had the paint already mixed. Speaking of mixing, man, if you're not using these little paint cups on your spray gun, get you a set, man. These are just generic off of eBay. I bought the fitting. You can do some digging around and find which fitting you need for your particular gun, but I'm kind of old school, man, so, you know, I came to the party late, and everybody's probably been using these for years, but I just wanted to give them a shot, and I'm glad I did. I learned about them from Underground Paint King. Go check out his channel. I'll leave a link in my description. You can get there. If you want to learn anything about paint, this guy can teach you. Now, I'm just an old backyard hack, building them in the driveway here, and so they come out the way they come out. I'm satisfied with them. All right, well, this morning we're ready to move on with the next step of the hood, and what I'm going to be doing is shooting it with a coat of sprayable body filler that I picked up from TP Tools. It's made by CarWorks. It's sprayable body filler. This is going to be very similar to like feather fill or slick sand. You know, it's just an icing coat that we spray on so we can block it out. We're going to hit it with a coat of a primer after that. I'm going to mount it back to the car and call it good. All right, we're gonna let that sit for a couple hours and then we're gonna come back and start blocking it. Well, my verdict on this sprayable body filler is I really like it. It's blocking out really easy. I'm just using a little sanding sponge. Got my DuraBlock. I'm blocking it down to 120. You know, you can troll me all you want on body work. I never said I was a body man, never said I'm a mechanic. I'm just a backyard builder and wanted to try this stuff and really like it. Now, it's coming out pretty smooth, so we're going to go ahead and finish blocking it down, and I'm going to hit it with a coat of primer. If you really need to learn how to block, don't watch me. Go check out Bondo Billy, or check out Sprayway Customs, or check out Underground Paint King. Any of them guys can teach you how. If you want to see how an old backyard hack does it, watch me. This reminds me of some DuPont fill and sand primer. Sanded a lot like this. This is good stuff. I like it. All right, guys, something that I don't feel like doing, but I mean, it needs to be done, and I know I'll be happy with it once it's done, is we need to paint this engine bay. Now's the time to do it. The hood's off. We're getting ready to do the engine swap pretty soon. So if we're going to do it, now's the time. It doesn't matter if we get paint on this engine that's in here, because this thing's going to be a boat anchor. So I'm going to start taking the battery out and removing a few things, doing a cleanup. Again, not looking for real precision here, because we're going to do matte black on this as well. You didn't know Earl's made batteries? Before we ever even get started painting the car here, I've already ran into an issue that I knew I had, but it needs to be taken care of. This battery tray is pretty solid. I mean, everything's there, but this end down here, I need to get a piece to shore this up. Just a small little bracket right there would fix that. So I'm going to see what I can come up with. It's not going to take much, because like I say, it's all there. Just, you know, battery acid has done its thing, and we're going to see if we can't shore that up a little bit before we paint it. It's me from the future. Pretend like that hood's not black. You haven't seen that part yet. Guys, I'm fixing the battery tray, and I went back and was editing this video, and I didn't like the repair I made. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to interject what I've actually done, and then we'll get back to where all that has taken place. Or just pretend like you hadn't seen it. We're using 2-part epoxy, and I really like this 2-part epoxy. I got this from Lone Star Epoxy off of eBay. It's real good stuff. Let me show you how we're going to fix this repair. And again, I'm from the future. Just pretend like you're not seeing all that. Give it a second. You'll see how we get it. Fiberglass, baby, fiberglass. All right, let's mix some part A, part B. All right, equal parts, part A, part B. Now, you can do it one of two ways. You can put it on and paint it, or you can soak it in. I like to soak it in on stuff like this. come on in with another piece. Just kind of cross it over, you know. Your nose don't ever start itching until you get your hands covered in fiberglass resin, epoxy resin. Yeah, there you go. A bed of epoxy, two-part epoxy with fiberglass cloth. It will work. I guarantee you that'll firm up and harden up. I'll show it to you whenever we get done. And again, I'm from the future, so just pretend like you didn't see. Hang on, I'll show you how we got there. There you have it. I mean, that's all I was after. I just wanted to get a good coating of something in here. I think it looks a lot cleaner. We'll get the battery and the solenoid hooked back up and flat black engine bay. And I'm going to get ready to put this hood on here in just a minute. Alright guys, we got the hood back on, and I couldn't be happier with it. Remember, our initial goal here was to do away with any kind of hood flex. And prior to me starting this on this hood, I mean, this hood just bounced. The metal just bounced all over. Now, it's as solid as a new car, and it opens just fine. It's substantially heavier, I will say that. It's got quite a bit more weight to it now that we've added in the foam and the fiberglass and everything. I wouldn't have thought it would have added just a lot of weight, but it has. Closes good, it's nice and solid. We're gonna have to work on our body lines a little bit. One of those reasons is there's the little rubber bumpers that go in here. We've got to get those installed, and then our adjusters in the front to get it just right and get it all squared away and ready for paint. But hey, mission accomplished on doing away with the hood bounce. The spray foam, the fiberglass, all that worked. Inside of the engine bay, painted flat black. Underside of the hood, painted a flat black. Everything looks good the way I was wanting it. I couldn't be happier, so let's move on. We've got the car back up on jack stands. I'm gonna pull the wheels off and take them to my local tire shop. Have them pull the tires off. We're gonna work the wheels down and paint them. I've got ebony black. I'll show it to you when I get ready to spray it. We also got tie rod ends that I wanted to replace so we'll do that while it's on jack stands. Just kind of a beforehand look there at the wheels, and we could sandblast them. You know, I could take them and really go overboard with them, but I'm going to work them down with a wire wheel of persuasion, primer, and paint and clear coat. So let's do this. Well, if you've kept up with my channel, you probably are sitting there thinking, all right, he's getting ready to paint some wheels, so what kind of tractor and implement paint is he going to use next? I'm actually going to use car paint now. The tractor and implement paint, guys, has just been for under the wheel wells, under the hood, that kind of thing. We're going to hit these with some PPG Omni. It's the kind of primer I use. It's an epoxy coat. We're going to hit them with that, and then I'll show you the paint that we're going to use. right, guys, we hit them with epoxy primer. We've let them cure. Now, I understand that some of you are saying, hey man, you need to put a sealer on there or whatever. I've done this before. It's worked for me. If you're needing to learn how to paint, go to DIY Paint and Body School, go to Sprayway Customs, go to Underground Paint King, go check out Bondo Billy, go check out somebody else, because I'm not claiming to be a professional painter. I'm just claiming to do what I do, and it works for me. So the type of paint that I'm using, this particular type is Autobahn. It's AB 955 Ebony Black. That's a GM paint code color. I didn't care. The supplier that I get my paint from, I'm going to leave a link down below to his eBay store. I've bought a ton of paint from them. They always have real good prices, fast shipping, and a lot of availability for primers, paints, and clear coats. Even body filler, they got everything. So real easy to do business with, fast shipping. I've had real good luck with them. So used this particular paint last summer whenever I painted the Bullnose Ford. I had good luck with it. And so the primary reason I bought this, though, it was the cheapest black urethane that he had in his store. So works for me. Second coat. All right, we're about to spray some clear. American Concepts, got it from the same supplier that I got the paint from. I had some left over from last year. It'll work fine. Guys, I've used the same gun, same tip and everything to spray all three of these products, the primer, the paint, and the clear coat. That in and of itself will let you know that I am not a body man, but it'll work for what I'm doing. Again, there's body people on my page, or I can link you to them, but this is how I do it. All right, guys, something that I want to do that to kind of correct something from the last video. If you'll remember when I was doing the front end, on the inner tie rods, I didn't like those. So I got online and I ordered some different ones. These are new old stock, and these are probably from the 60s, I'm guessing. I don't know. Atlas tie rod ends. But they're exactly what I was after. They've got a castle nut. They've got, you know, a cotter pin that goes through, and I just feel better about them. The ones that are on there would probably last. I'll be dead honest with you. They'll probably be just fine. But for peace of mind, I'm going with these. New old stock, guys, when you're doing an old car, I mean, it's something to look at. I mean, that's a brand new part still in the box. You can see just a standard tie rod end. Comes with all your little bolt-ons still in the plastic baggie, and still has the written instructions in the box. I mean, I just think they're neat, and I mean, it's a brand new part. And it's exactly what I'm after, so we're gonna put that on. Well, and per usual, I'm not gonna be able to really get you in here and show you every step of the way, but I'm gonna take this old tie rod off and put this new one on. All right, well, we got that tie rod in swapped out, and you learn a lesson in everything you do. Turns out that nylon lock nut didn't want to come. They're fine. If I ever get tie rod ends again with nylon lock nuts, I'll be okay with it. I just didn't know, guys. I'd never used those. All I've ever used is the old school type with the castle nut and the cotter pin. And I probably still like those better. But I'm just letting you know, as big a fight as I had on my hands to get that nylon lock nut off, I ain't gonna fool with ever swapping again. So, but this boot had gotten torn. I mean, you can see it got absolutely destroyed. Again, my fault, because I had put this tie rod on upside down initially. So we are back in business. The tie rods are all, you know, correct. They're holding grease. We're in good shape. So if nothing else, I've got peace of mind, and we've learned a lesson. And if you learn a lesson, it's worth it. All right, guys, we got the wheels painted and clear coated. I don't think that I'm going to ultimately stay with these exact wheels. These wheels are in very poor condition. Some very, very heavy rust pitting on these. This one's got a dent in it, so for now they're going to work fine, at least until we get the car built and we can afford some other rims or decide what we want to do. We could put a center cap on these. The factory dog dish poverty caps won't fit these particular wheels. This inner ring that they have to snap over, this is like 10 1/4 inches large, and on factory the spec is like 9 1/2. I think these wheels came off of maybe a Maverick or maybe a Mustang, but I don't think these fit or came from the Falcon originally. So we put the metal valve stems in, and so these wheels are ready to go back to Ronnie and get him to put the tires on them tomorrow. So they'll work for what they are. Well, we got the tires mounted back on the wheels and we're going to get them put on the car. I think they came out pretty good considering what they are, but these old wheels were rough, man. Lots of heavy pitting and everything, so probably won't be staying with these forever, but they will work for now. So we're going to get them put back on the Falcon. Well, guys, that's where we're going to wrap this week's video up at. I didn't get everything done that in my mind I had anticipated getting done this video, but hey, we got plenty of time and the car's not going anywhere, man. What did we do? We got some body work done on the hood. We got the wheels painted, got the tires put back on, that sort of thing. Just had fun, you know. After the last video of doing that complete front end rebuild, I was kind of tired of turning wrenches and wanted to do something a little bit different. And that's what's good about an evolving project. You can kind of jump around. It's all got to get done, so might as well keep it interesting, you know. But I do appreciate you guys watching the revival of what I've now earmarked Mr. Breeze, the 1962 Ford Falcon. Hit like, hit subscribe, share my content with your friends, man. I'm trying my best here just to chronicle the build of the 62 Falcon and whatever else we get into. Hey, remember this, man. Life is short. Get all you can out of it. You know, love your family, love the Lord, love your neighbor, man. Do everything you can to get the most out of life. Above all, have fun. Drive like the next guy's your buddy. Hug your mama if she's still with you. Y'all have a good day. From One Car Garage, we'll see you next time.